is Marisol Flores. I am the project coordinator here at the Illinois Hispanic Chamber of Commerce. Thank you so much for being with us today at our events, Understanding the DBE Certification Process, presented by the Chicago Transit Authority and the Illinois Procurement Technical Assistance Center. For today, I just want to go over some quick housekeeping rules. Everybody will be muted upon entry. Please, if you have any questions, use the chat function throughout the presentation. We'll maybe take some time between the presentation to answer any questions, as well as at the end of the presentation. And we will also be recording this webinar for your future needs. Here is the agenda for today. We'll just talk a little bit about some of the programs we have here at the Chamber. Then we'll deep dive into the Chicago Transit Authority. With us today, we have Jaemie Neely, Alexandria Amos, and then Shannell Harmon from the Chicago Transit Authority. Thank you so much, everybody. I'll start actually. Again, my name is Marisol Flores. I'm the project coordinator at the Illinois Hispanic Chamber of Commerce. Here at the Illinois Hispanic of Commerce, this is our mission. We have a variety of programs at the Chamber. Some of those include the Small Business Transportation Resource Center, the Illinois Tollway Technical Assistance Center, the Procurement Technical Assistance Center, the Small Business Transportation Resource Center, the Latinx Incubator, and among many more. If you'd like to learn a little bit more about our programs and what we offer, you could visit our website at ihccbusiness.net. I will now turn it over to Angie Alonso, the Illinois PTAC Director. Angie.
Thank you, Marisol, for that introduction. And again, good morning, everyone, and to the people who are just joining us. My name is Angie Alonso. For the ones that haven't met me, I am the PTAC Director, Procurement Technical Assistance Center at the Illinois Hispanic Chamber of Commerce. I'm just gonna really quick talk about the program so you know what the PTAC does. We help businesses enter or navigate a government contracting at the local, state, and federal level. So anything related to government contracting, from the point where you are starting to consider it all the way until you want to either grow in the government space, we help with that. So some of our services include one-on-one counseling sessions with the clients, training events just like this one, webinars and procurement topics, just like what we are doing today, certification assistance. So we just don't not just talk about the certifications, but we also assist businesses go through the process. We do vendor registration and different procurement portals. We also help with the SAM.gov registration, and we support businesses in bid understanding. And below is my contact information and my email. So if you are interested, considering or thinking in growing in the government space, feel free to reach out to me, or as we go through the slides, there will be contact information for all of us. So reach out to any of us. We love to help. We're here to help. Thank you. And with that, I think we are going to Jacob.
Jacob, take it away.
Yes. Good morning, everybody. Hello, my name is Jacob Perez, and I'm the United States Department of Transportation Great Lakes Region Director for the SBTRC, which is the Small Business Transportation Resource Center. We cover six states here in the Great Lake area, which include Wisconsin, Indiana, and Michigan, Minnesota, and Ohio. And we offer a variety of services with the mission of increasing the number of DBEs bidding and attaining transportation-related contracts, either as primed or subprime contractors. And we do that by offering various services, which include one-on-one procurement training, marketing, whatever it is the business needs. We offer a BEP program, a bonding education program, which is a comprehensive program, which covers everything related to getting your bonding, and also the WITI program, which is for women in the transportation industry. And we're currently looking for small businesses who are interested in sponsoring an intern. So if you are, please contact me or Marisol. Our contact information is right there in front of you. So I look forward to hearing from you. And with that, I'll pass it over to Dana.
Dana Harder, yep.
Would you mind going to the next slide, please? Good morning, everyone. My name is Dana Harder, and I work with the Illinois Hispanic Chamber of Commerce, representing them in the Illinois Tollway Technical Assistance Program. The Technical Assistance Program helps small and diverse firms build capacity to work on the tollway system, not just traditional capacity, although we do offer those services as well, such as bonding, access to capital, risk management, and certification support, but also industry-specific capacity type building, such as understanding small business programs, bid feasibility, support with project management in project startup, execution, and closeout. If you would like to learn more information about the program, my contact information is included in this slide, and I look forward to hearing from you. And I will hand that back over to the next presenter.
Thank you so much, Dana. I am having just some difficulties here. I was trying to turn my screen on, but it looks like it won't let me. But I will now like to introduce Jaemie Neely from the Chicago Transit Authority. She is the Manager of Small Business Development and Outreach. Jaemie, I will now turn this over to you.
Thank you, Marisol, and thank you to the Illinois Hispanic Chamber of Commerce for having us this morning. Thank you all for attending. Again, my name is Jaemie Neely. I am the manager of the Small Business Development and Outreach team here at CTA, and we're here to discuss a little bit about our diversity programs. So diversity programs have 4 pillars. One consists of our Small Business Development and Outreach team. The other includes our certification, where they assess and set goals. Certification, where they process and administer our certifications, which are the DBE and SBE, which my colleagues will touch on later on. We also have the workforce initiatives, CTA Diversity Programs. We want our workforce and our labor to be just as diverse as our small businesses, both prime and subs. And so we apply workforce goals on some of our larger contracts. Under those initiatives, we also have our Mentor Protege program. This is one where we understand our larger primes and contractors have the experience, have the capital, the connections that can be leveraged by our smaller and scaling firms. And so we encourage Mentor Protege opportunities on, again, most of our larger contract opportunities. We also, under the diversity programs, support our small businesses in contracting strategies, finding out about our contracts, when are they coming down the pipeline? What do I need to prepare for them? My colleague Shannell, she'll touch on that a little later in today's presentation. Market research, again, where are the contracts? Who are the primes? How do I market to those primes? Access to capital. We understand that capital is a huge barrier for some of our small businesses in general, but also to do business with government agencies like CTA. And so we've responded with that with a program called Building Small Businesses, currently under our RPM, our Red Purple Modernization Project, the largest capital development project in CTA's history. Walsh Floor's commitment to their diversity spend and leveraging small businesses, they quickly understood that there were some challenges. And so they curated what's called the BSB program, of financial capacity building. Over a year and a half worth of time, we've helped over 20 firms secure $5 million in funding. This is huge and really crucial, particularly during this time where businesses were struggling to stay afloat. And so we're proud to be that assistance and support to our small business community as well. And then, of course, those educational resources, much like this, the know-how. We have many programming within CTA's diversity programs, but we also leverage the technical assistance and support of our assist agencies and partners, which we are members of, such as IHCC. You can connect with us via outreach events, both procurement and educational related. The educational allows you to, again, understand the know-how. Sometimes agencies we operate, our processes, our systems are so vastly different. So to better understand how you can become successful in CTA contracting opportunities, you may want to attend many of our educational outreach events, along with the procurement. Of course, under meet and greets, getting to know who our prime contractors are can also afford you building those relationships in the future in hopes to get on CTA contract opportunities. My colleague Shannell and I, we accept and encourage you all to reach out to us. The more we know about your business, the better we can assist you in navigating through our CTA's procurement process. And if you didn't know, CTA Diversity Programs has what's called the DBE Advisory Committee. Our advisory committee consists of women-owned DBEs, minority-owned DBEs, prime contractors, as well as assist agencies. We meet every other month. We discuss some of the challenges, some new regulations, any and all things that support our small and disadvantaged business community. And then pre-bid meetings. Whether you're pursuing the opportunity as a potential prime or sub, we encourage you to attend that pre-bid meeting. For the subs, it gives you an opportunity to hear the information about the contract firsthand, along with the prime contractors. Also, you'll be able to leverage who's in the room. There's your opportunity to know who else is interested in bidding on this opportunity. Can I partner with them? Can I be a potential sub? So we encourage you all to attend those opportunities as well. How to get started with CTA? We encourage you to register as a CTA vendor. Register, and I think Angie mentioned that, under the PTAC, they can also assist you with these processes. Registering as a CTA vendor affords you communication. When we're sending out contract opportunities, when we're sending out outreach events, educational programs, we're oftentimes using our database to collect vendors to push out our communications. And so we don't want you to miss any of our communications. So be sure to register as a vendor. And if you have not considered our DBE certification, of course, we're here to talk about it. Strongly consider you obtaining that DBE certification. CTA only accepts and certifies the DBE certification. And so that may afford you or leverage you opportunities within CTA. We encourage that you review our open and live solicitations via our virtual platform, Bonfire, which again, my colleague Shannell will touch on later on in today's presentation, and also our buying plan. This is so huge and so key to our small business community. It's forecasted up to 18 months out. It allows you the depiction of what's coming down the pipeline, which gives you time to prepare for it. Once my client asked me, am I ready to do business with CTA? My first two responses are, or my one response, couple of two, is do you have the financial and human capacity to perform? And so part of that is understanding what's coming down the pipeline. Do I have the financial and human capacity to perform on that? If not, let me back my way into that. Let me find out potential partners. Let me find out capital, et cetera, so that when that opportunity does hit the live solicitation, you're that much more prepared to respond to it. And next, I'd like to introduce why you all came here this morning. My colleague, Alexandria Amos, our certification specialist within our DBE certification unit. Thank you.
Hi, good morning, everyone. As she said, I am Alexandria Amos. I am the certification specialist within the certification unit in the Diversity Programs Department with CTA. Thank you for joining me this morning. Okay, so the things that we are going to discuss is what is a DBE, some of the requirements to get DBE certified, required documents that you will be submitting, as well as the certification process, and then after you are certified, what you can do then. Okay, so just a little history. What is DBE? DBE stands for Disadvantaged Business Enterprise. It is governed by the U.S. Department of Transportation, or USDOT. The regulations are 49 CFR, the Code of Federal Regulations, Part 26. And 49 Part 26, it ensures non-discrimination in the award and administration of DOC assisted contracts. So what that means is it creates a level playing field. It creates things more equal for minorities and women to get into DOT assisted contracts. And I do want to recommend that if anyone is not DBE certified yet, that you possibly go online. You can read the regulations, 49 CFR Part 26. They are a little lengthy, so you won't want to read them all, but just if you want to get a little history and just understand how we govern the program. Okay, so to be certified as a DBE, your business must be for profit, and it must be a small business concern, which we will discuss later, and it must be 51% owned and controlled by a socially and economically disadvantaged individual. And so what that means is that the owner must be disadvantaged, and they must control the business, as well as the business cannot rely on any other business. So what is a small business concern? A small business is an existing small business that is subject to applicable small business size standard as defined by the SBA. So to be a DBE that is an SBA, a firm's 3 average annual gross receipts cannot exceed 26.92 million. And that was a change that was made on January 13th, 2021. As well as their NAICS codes, the North American Industry Classification Systems. So the codes that you are assigned based on what your firm does, they cannot exceed that 5-year annual gross receipts. Okay, so eligibility criteria for DBE certification. So being socially disadvantaged, you must be a minority, which is all the minorities listed right there, or you must be a woman. And then to be economically disadvantaged, you must prove that your net worth does not exceed 1.32 million. Okay, and then there's also this control factor. So to be eligible for DBE certification, a firm must be an independent business whose management and daily business operations are controlled by one or more of the socially and economically disadvantaged individuals who own it. So there can be multiple individuals that own the company, but it must be proven that 51% is socially and economically disadvantaged. Okay, so now we can get into some of the documents that you will have to submit when you are applying for DBE certification. One of them will be a resume. We do want to see a resume for the owners and managers of the firm as well. We want to see the expertise and knowledge that you have in the industry, as well as a personal net worth statement. As mentioned earlier, we have to see that your personal net worth is under 1.32 million. So that will be submitted as well. And we will also go through that later, and you'll be able to see how you submit that. Okay, so this is a copy of the personal net worth statement. We're just gonna go through it just to make it, break it down and see how you would fill it out. So at the top, you can see it's just pretty general information. And then you can see there is an assets column and a liabilities column, which will be broken down later in the form. But as you can see, you'll submit your cash, the money you have in the bank, your retirements, loans, any loans to the shareholders, any assets that you have basically. And then as far as your real estate, if you can see right here, it says real estate excluding primary residence. So you will include your primary residence on a later page, but in this box right here, you will only put if you have like any rental properties or any vacation homes, things of that nature. You won't, that won't be included in the net worth calculation. And then under liabilities, we'll have the mortgages that you have on any homes, any notes that you have and unpaid taxes, things of that nature, any liabilities that you have under your name. And then it just later starts to break things down. So here it'll ask for the notes payable to banks and others. You'll just actually break down what notes you have and the amounts that are owed. Okay, and then here is the second and third page of the personal net worth statement. At the top, that's where you will list out your any investment accounts, any retirement accounts that you have. And then under that is where you will put the real estate. As you can see, that's where you will list out your primary residence, but that won't be calculated. And then if you have any other properties, vacation homes, things of that nature, that's where you will put under property B and C. And then under that is where you would list out any life insurance policies that you have. And then on that last page, you'll put any household goods, jewelry, just any assets that you have of that nature. You'll list out any cars that you own, any notes that you put with that. And then that last 3 boxes are just the other section. If there's anything else that you need to mention, unpaid taxes, transfer of assets, things of that nature. And then at the very bottom is just where you'll sign date and then you'll have it notarized. Okay, and the other documents that we will receive is your personal tax returns for the last 3 years. If there is affiliate companies or anything else that we might need to see, we might ask for the last 5 years. And then your federal tax returns for the last 5 years. As stated before, now we calculate the gross receipts with the last 5 years. If applicable, if your firm has not been in business for 5 years, that's okay. You'll just submit as many as you have up to that time. And if you don't have any, that's also okay. You will just upload a statement just saying that your business is new and that you don't have any tax returns yet. Oh, and we also need affiliate company tax returns as well for the last 5 years. Another thing that we need is documented proof of contribution. So that can be in the form of a canceled check. When you open your company business account, if you put some money in, if you bought any real estate, any equipment. This is a tricky one, but we just need to see something that something that you contributed to the company at the time that the company was formed. And whatever way you can submit that is, we can accept it. We just need to see proof that you contributed something at the beginning of the company being formed. And then as far as if you have any loans and security agreements, we will need to see those agreements as well in the company name, not personal loans. And we will need to see a list of equipment or vehicles that are owned or leased by the firm. For this, we just want to make sure that you are capable of doing the work that you are requesting for the next code. So we just need to make sure that you have any equipment or vehicles that are necessary to perform the work. And then furthermore, if you have any vehicles, we'll need to see the titles, the registrations, and USDOT numbers for each truck or vehicle owned. Licenses, license renewal forms, permits, and hauling authority forms. So this can include business license, any permits that are necessary, professional licenses. We need to just ensure that you have everything in place in order. For example, if you're a engineering firm, we see an engineering license or a GC license for contracting firms. We just need to make sure that all the proper licenses are in place. And then depending on what city you live in, if the city requires a business license, we will need to see a business license as well. And then the real estate that is owned or leased by the firm, if you lease an office, we just need to see a copy of that lease signed by both parties. And then if it is a home office, perfectly fine. We just need to see a tax bill or a deed or a mortgage statement would work as well. And if your company had any transfer of ownership within the last 2 years, we need to see the agreement reflecting the transfer. We need to just understand why that transfer happened. And then we also will need to see any updated stock certificates, stock ledgers, and meeting minutes. A schedule of salaries, we can accept a W-2 form for the past 3 years for all officers, managers, owners, and directors of the firm, or you can also write it out on a statement and just list everyone's salaries out, as well as a list of all employees, job titles, and dates of employment for all employees of the firm. Proof of citizenship, we can accept that in the form of birth certificate or passport or residency card as well. And then also an audited financial statement for the past 3 years if your firm has been in business for 3 years, and that would include the income statement and the balance sheet. And then if there's any trust agreements owned by the disadvantaged owner, we will need to see a copy of that as well. And then if you are a supplier, we need to see a copy of the product lines that are carried and a list of distribution equipment owned or leased by the firm. Okay, and so depending on the structure of your company, we will need specific documents. So if you are a corporation, an S or C Corp, we will need to see articles of incorporation. We'll need to see your stock certificates, your stock ledger, your shareholder agreements, your meeting minutes, and your bylaws. So we will need all of those. If you are an LLC, we will need your articles of organization as well as your operating agreement. A partnership, we will need to see as well the articles of organization, but your partnership agreement. And then for a sole proprietorship, we need your assumed name certificate as well as your EIN number. Okay, so how can you get certified? As mentioned before, first you will register as a vendor online, and then after that you will go on to the cta.dbesystem.com where you can start your application process. You will upload all the documents that I just discussed, and then it will be submitted and it will be received and it will be assigned to either myself or the other certification specialist within the certification unit. The review process is typically about 90 days, but That 90 days is once we get all the information that we need and all the documents received. So if you submit your application May 1st, but we have to send, an app Q&A, and then we have to get a little bit more information, and then we don't have everything until August, just saying a date, that is when the 90 days will start. So then once we have all those documents, a site visit will be performed where we'll ask a series of questions and maybe just get a tour of your workplace. And then after that, we will ask if there's anything else needed, or if we need any additional information, we'll reach out. Then we will submit your application to the review committee, in which they will either go along with our decision, or they will ask for maybe some more information. And then you will receive an email and also via mail the CTA's decision. And once you are certified, the certification is recognized by all CTA, PACE, METRA, IDOT, and the city of Chicago. So you will be able to get contracts with all of those places, as well as you will be listed in the Illinois UCP directory. And it's public, and it allows the prime contractors to search for DBE firms by specialty area or NAICS codes. And it's very, very, very important, as stated earlier, to attend outreach and network events. That's how you can network with people that are in your network, or you can also reach out to contractors and talk to other businesses and tell them that you're DBE certified, and that's how you can really network and get your name out there, and how you can create opportunities for yourself as well. And then as your firm grows and completes projects, you can apply for expansion requests and get more NAICS codes, which is also just more opportunities. And then you will also be able to get grandfathered into the SPE program, and you can get DBE certified in another state as well. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you so much, Alexandra. I would now like to introduce Shannell Harmon, the Coordinator for Small Business Development and Outreach.
Hello, everyone, and thank you, Marisol, for that introduction. Once again, my name is Shannell Harmon, Coordinator for Small Business Development and Outreach, and I'll be reviewing a few steps to follow and common initialisms that you'll see throughout the CTA bidding process. One of the first steps to follow when bidding on a CTA contract is research. This step takes the time to establish your company's qualifications to meet the needs of the project. It is critical to know that your company has the experience and the resources to fulfill the needs of the contract. The next step is to prepare to bid. It's important to highlight how your company can fulfill the bid request. Consider the cost of materials, time frame, and labor needed to complete the bid. Go through the costs, make sure they are accurate, and justify the cost based on project needs. Firms should review all the costs associated to contracts when preparing their price. Price must be all-inclusive, including their overhead and profit. Next, a few of these initialisms that you may have seen. For example, we have here requests for proposals, which you may know to be RFPs. RFPs require vendors to provide consulting services in addition to the actual work outlined in the contract. The vendor offering the lowest price does not always win the contract. Proposals are evaluated based on a combination of factors, including price, the technology used to do the work, and the quality of the product or service provided. RFPs are based on best value. Price still matters, but it's not the only factor. Next, we have invitation to bid, which you may know to be IFBs. IFBs are released when there aren't substantive differences between vendors and there are many providers who can meet the needs of the contract. The award will go to the lowest bidder that meets the minimum qualification requirements for the contract. IFBs are based on lowest, responsive, and responsible bidder. Next, we have request for quote, which you may know to be RFQs. RFQs only select suppliers, and contractors are solicited to submit price quotes and bids for the chance to fulfill certain tasks or projects. Unsolicited bids are not accepted. Next, we have letters of interest and qualifications, known as ILQs. A request for letters of interest and qualifications is an invitation requesting firms to submit proposals for architectural or engineering services, as well as for certain construction management, project design, or other permissible services that are directly in support of, connected to, or related to the construction, alteration, or repair of real property. LIQs are qualifications based. Negotiations on price come later. The next step is when you're preparing to submit the bid. To submit requests for proposals, RFPs, requests for quotes, invitations to bids, and letter of interest and qualifications, you must utilize our Bonfire Portal. Familiarize yourself with how the portal works so your submission gets to the right place with the correct documentation attached. Next step is presentations. Be prepared to answer questions about the bid. Provide additional details regarding pricing or timelines. This is often the stage where you might be asked if this is your best and final bid. Decide if there is any room for adjustments and inform the group that you can provide a revised bid if necessary. Be sure to detail what changes for a lower price, whether it's quality or materials, the experience of labor, or any other factor affecting the product. Next, getting the contract award. Be sure to find out when the contract will be awarded. While these timelines are subject to change, you'll want to set your calendars and provide yourself enough time to make the necessary preparations to fulfill the contract. Firms should also be aware of the time between award and notice to proceed. Contracts are awarded either following consideration and approval by the board or in accordance with the established process for contract approval and execution for contracts that do not require board ratification. Stay in communication with the contract lead and know any requests for change in the scope. Next, I'm going to cover the CTA Buying Plan. This is going back to what my colleague Jaemie Neely mentioned earlier on that slide for getting started. The Buying Plan helps you to forecast opportunities. It was created for potential bidders to get a full picture of upcoming contracting opportunities. This document is designed to review purchases of services, equipment, and commodities that we anticipate in the next 18 months. Many of which are related to our day-to-day transit operations, including specialized parts and service, such as printing, as well as information related to construction projects. The buying plan also includes information on how to participate in CTA's disadvantaged business enterprise and small business programs, along with some helpful resources for both prospective and current vendors. Here, this is just a screenshot of what you'll see. This is our 2021-2022 buying plan. And I'm not sure if IHCC plan to share the presentation with attendees, but all of those links are active throughout the presentation. So when you do receive the presentation, you can click those links, and anything that I went over that you weren't sure of or you had any questions, it'll take you directly to that slide on the CTA website. Okay, this is just, this is another screenshot for what the buying plan looks like. This is going back to being able to look through this and forecast upcoming opportunities based off the quarter that we're currently in. Okay. Okay, next we'll cover the CTA's Bonfire Portal. CTA's Bonfire Portal is used to post solicitations and is where bids and proposals will be submitted. So once you register as a vendor and you have your Bonfire login, this is a few of our active solicitations that we have. We have a few solicitations for cleaning and fuel, IT support services, traction power upgrades. So there's a variety of opportunities available to you depending on your firm's specialty. So I definitely encourage you to sign up for the Bonfire Portal. And it's important that you do so because that in addition to having access to our opportunities as soon as they're available, you also, if you do decide to submit, you will have to submit your paperwork also through Bonfire. So it's important to be familiar with the Bonfire Portal and to register. Okay, and next we have some upcoming CTA outreach events. Here we have our RPM DBE Vendor Virtual Outreach that's planned for Tuesday, April 27th, 2021. Here, this is the opportunity for you to hear about opportunities available on our Red Purple Modernization Project that CTA is currently working on. I know my colleague Jaemie Neely also mentioned this earlier. And next we have another can you just go back one? And next we have another outreach for ATS Elite Solutions. This is another RPM project opportunity. So if you know any trucking companies who are interested in working on the RPM project, we're having 2 sessions. One is at 10 a.m. and one is at 7 p.m. on Thursday, April 29th. Next, we have our RPM building your financial capacity workshop. This workshop is designed to provide financial guidance to small businesses and certified disadvantaged enterprises by offering direct loan placement for financial needs such as mobilization, working capital, equipment, and other cash flow needs. And if you also need assistance with loan assistance, attending this workshop, you will also be able to get assistance for that as well. And next we have our quarterly driving to small business the distance workshop. Our next workshop would be May 19th, 2021. And it would be responding to CTA contract opportunities. Okay, thank you.
Thank you so much, Shannell. I appreciate it. That was great, useful information. I'd like to jump to some questions we had in the chat box. Jaemie, Alexandria, and Shannell, please feel free to jump in. There was one question here. What was the previous revenue threshold for DBE businesses before the change that was referenced? Was the threshold increased or decreased?
It was increased. It was 23.98 before, and it was increased to 26.29. Sorry, make sure I have my numbers correct. It's a lot of numbers, but it was increased for the 3-year gross receipts.
Great, thank you. Another question, would the financial statement requirements be waived if your business is a startup?
Yes, that's correct. Yep, you would just, for anything that you don't have for a startup business, you'll just upload a statement on a company letterhead, just signed and just stating that, you know, my business started this time, so we don't have that document, and we will accept that. Great.
If a firm is 8A and State of Illinois MBE certification, does that help in any way while applying for CTA's DBE?
No, they're different programs. Well, a lot of the documents are probably the same documents that you submitted, so hopefully you just have them on standby and you can just upload them again. But they are different programs and they do have different requirements. So having that certification doesn't intertwine with the DBE certification with CTA.
Great, thank you so much, Alexandria. I have a question regarding the DBE advisory. Who is best to contact in regards to getting on board with that or being in one of those meetings?
Sure. I would start by emailing our diversity@transitchicago.com and express any interest. A little bit about how we how we obtain our committee members. Every year we go through a voting, an election, and the nominations come directly from our existing committee. So it would be advantageous for you to connect with those who are currently members so that at the next time of elections, they can potentially nominate you for our next committee in 2022.
And Jaemie, does that help with the networking and the relationship building?
Thank you, Marisol. Absolutely, right. So again, because it includes women-owned DBEs, minority-owned DBEs, as well as some primes and some assist agencies, I think that, and workforce. So we're actually looking to expand the DBE Advisory Committee to be our Diversity Advisory Committee so that the workforce component can be much more of a conversation. Again, as I mentioned earlier, CTA has been unique in applying workforce goals to some of our contracts. So the conversation going forward will be more comprehensive to include both. But absolutely networking, that's, part of Shannell and our outreach encouragement is always, when and where possible, find ways to build those relationships.
Great, thank you so much, Jaemie. Another question, can I get certified if I don't have any clients yet?
Yes, absolutely. One of the regulations states that we cannot deny firms based on their size or if they're a startup firm. So yes, absolutely. That's what we're here for. We're trying to get you clients and opportunities and work. If you don't have any contracts under the contracts tab, you'll just, like I said, upload a statement and just state that don't have any yet. My firm started at this time and that's what we're doing.
Great, thank you so much. Looks like those are all the questions that have come in. I did want to share this last slide. Looks like there's some connections to the CTA, correct?
Absolutely. Yeah, if you have any follow-up questions, feel free to reach out to any of the names listed here and any of the presenters today. But also the catch-all would be our collective inbox, which is the diversity@transitchicago.com.
Thank you so much. Thank you to our panelists from the Chicago Transit Authority, Jaemie Neely, Alexandria Amos, and Shannell Harmon. Appreciate you being here with us this morning. Also want to thank our audience for being with us today. We will follow up with an email with the recording of the presentation, as well as the link to the upcoming CTA events. And then that is all for this morning. Thank you again. Have a great rest of the week, everyone.